Please allow me to thank you most sincerely for this invitation. I'm even more honored that this invitation comes from frontline centers and organizations which have legitimate claim to genuine concern over the state and fate of our democratic process. I will take the liberty, however, of assuming that the organizers and participants of this event recognize that our administration has a major interest in the quality of our democratic system and a key responsibility in improving all elements that together constitute our democratic system. Forums such as this remind us that we owe our current positions to the democratic process, and it is our duty to continuously police its effectiveness and impact on the lives of all Nigerians. This conference is holding at a time when democracy as a system of government is being challenged the world over to reveal its essence, the validity of its fundamental and philosophical underpinnings, as well as its capacity to survive various assaults. Except perhaps for its claim to represent the only system which is founded on the non-negotiable right of all people to choose who governs them freely and to hold leaders accountable, democracy is being pressed to reveal its superiority over other systems, as well as its resilience and capacity to deliver the benefits it promises citizens. In older democracies, we are constantly reminded that long-held assumptions that many questions regarding basic processes and effects of the democratic process are settled are grossly exaggerated. We live in a highly competitive world where values compete for power to validate them, and a world where conduct of leaders often challenges assumptions that democratically elected leaders live by the highest standards of morality and respect for constitutionalism and the rule of law. In many parts of the world, the appearance of rapidly growing economies under political stability in non-democratic countries challenge the idea that democracy has many intrinsic values that should make it the system of choice in a diverse and grossly uneven world. In many parts of Africa, democracy suffers setbacks owing to complex pressures which include history and contemporary challenges like endemic poverty levels and insecurity. I would like to state here that Nigeria's position regarding the fate of democracy in Africa, particularly in our neighborhood, is to respect the sovereignty of peoples and encourage a return to democracy because citizens in each country desire that return. Today, we stand at a point where only the most critical scrutiny of our democratic assets and systems will guarantee that they survive and deliver on their promises. In Nigeria, we can rightly state that we have earned our right to live only under a democratic system. While we may be right in this assumption, we need to remind ourselves that Nigerians under 30 years of age, a critical demographic and political category, have not lived under non-democratic systems. Our failure to prioritize the learning of history means that older generations who appreciate the superiority of democratic systems over others have the onerous task of creating a democratic system that speaks for itself in terms of impact only on the lives of citizens. There's a huge responsibility on the shoulders of elected leaders in Nigeria to market our democracy in terms of the quality of governance and their conduct and disposition towards the rule of law and respect the welfare and security of citizens. Nigerian democracy must mean a lot more than asking Nigerians to line up every 4 years to elect leaders. It must mean, in practical terms, that leaders commit to the demands of elected leadership in very transparent manners, that mandates given to them to govern make them servants to people, to interests of the people, custodians of their assets, and protectors of their interests. The best leaders are people who exercise power only to promote interests of their people. These interests include making laws that are consistent with the economic welfare and security of the citizen, that the judiciary is free from interference and corruption, that institutions and structures of governance function with the highest standards of efficiency and integrity, that citizens' voices are heard and respected not just during elections, and the basic rules of competition between parties and interests are respected. The challenge for our leaders in democratic systems is to lead with a vision which identifies a path and a destination that ultimately benefit the citizen, even where some have legitimate reservations or have issues with them. I would like to assure Nigerians that our administration is acutely aware of many concerns over our direction and goals, particularly given the difficulties which some of our policies inevitably generate. We are involved in correcting many defects in our economy and approaches to securing the citizen. We have been honest to admit that this transition from a broken past to a promising future will not be without a price, and will remain focused on easing the pain and ensuring that we do not take our eyes off our goals. We would listen and adjust where necessary for our stewardship in all manners our challenging democratic systems demands. Your Excellencies, I am convinced that we will reap the benefits of our current unavoidable difficulties. I am convinced that Nigeria shall rise again, answer to its full potential, and lead the way to a future that would have learned lessons from a difficult past into a world in which our country will be a key player, and our young will be active champions of a democratic system because it speaks for them and to them. It has been said many times that democracy is an imperfect system, yet superior to all others. We will continue to seek to provide evidence of the values of the democratic system by, among others, fixing major weaknesses in our economy, securing our communities, fighting corruption, supporting free and fair elections, strengthening the independence of the judiciary, and improving national cohesion. I would like to appeal to fellow Nigerians to join us in this challenging but ultimately rewarding journey. Thank you.
Was that clap for the Vice President? Thank you very much. We also